Hey guys, welcome back to the Japan Archives. It's been a few weeks again. This might be a bonus episode, might be a main episode. We'll decide, I guess, when we start editing. We're not really sure right now what this one is, but we decided it's the end of the year, so let's do something Christmassy. We're not doing the Life of the Poet we told you about just yet because, well, 2020 has been something else, hasn't it, Heather?
Maybe a little, just a smidge.
Yeah. So after we did get back on track, then the new problem arose, at least for me, in that trying to find a job has proven to be a bazillion times more difficult than I originally thought. So been trying to use all this time that I can with the help of my partner to find jobs and apply. So yeah, been concentrating on that. So haven't had any time for a recording or anything really. What was the other announcement? Oh, so this will be our last episode for this year. That's right, isn't it, Heather?
Yep.
Okay. Then we're going to take our 2 weeks off. We're going to enjoy Christmas. We're going to enjoy our new year. I'm going to be applying for jobs as well. And then we'll come back the first Monday in January for you, which is Monday the 4th of January next year. But apart from that, I think we can jump into the main story for today, the short story for today, and then we had some announcements later?
Yeah, a few things to chat about at the end of the story.
So if you're ready, Heather, because I know you haven't looked at the story this week, you're going to hear it fresh. So if you're ready for me to start, like we said, we were looking around to find a topic themed around Christmas for the end of the year. And so I stumbled upon this very short tale known as Santa Kuro. I don't know if you want to have a look at the kanji after we finish the story, but I was expecting his name to be in katakana or something, but actually his whole name is made up of 4 different kanji. And we first find this tale all the way back in 1900 from someone known as Shindo Nobuyoshi. And they even included a picture of Santa inside their book, which you'll be able to see on the show note. As we know, Japan is a country with heavy Shinto roots as well as Buddhism, which came to the country at a later date. And so this tale of Santa set in Japan is quite the contrast to how Japan treats this time of year in their own country right now. And we talked a little bit about Christmas last year in our episode. In place of a traditional turkey dinner, Japanese people have been taught that it's all about eating KFC and eating strawberry cake. So in a way, Japan does do Christmas, but they do it in their own very unique way, which doesn't really scream Christmas to the rest of the world. But anyway, so to start the short tale, the story is set in Nagano Prefecture. In Nagano Prefecture, there was a home, and in this home lived the Hayashi family. In total, 3 members made up the family: mother, father, and Mineichi, their son. In contrast to the large majority of Japan, this was a very Christian family, not following the Shinto or Buddhist beliefs that most of the country followed. Now outside of their home, it is stormy, with snow falling all around. The Hayashis remaining inside, talking by the warmth of their fire to fight off the winter chill. But all of a sudden this changes when their dog enters their home, dropping a hat at the feet of their son, Mineichi. Father, being very wise, understood from this that someone must have been in need of help. Their dog Buchi bringing the hat to them so that they may know this, to go and give aid to the one in need. And so, father readying his sled, he with his son go out into the snowstorm, following Buchi to the man in need. The snow falls all around them as they go, piling up on all sides, as they follow Buchi until they come to this stranded traveler. The poor wretch lays unconscious in the snow, and the snow has actually begun to cover him up. And so, in an act of kindness, they gather the stranger onto their sled and take him back to their home to warm him up. Mother, upon seeing the man, grows frantic, piling more and more bundles of straw onto the fire to make it as hot as possible to thaw out this man and try to save his life. And slowly, as the man warms, not all is lost, and Mother manages to save his life. And eventually, the man does open his eyes. He reveals himself to the family, a 50-year-old man by the name of Iguchi Gohei, who resides in one of the distant villages. He is understandably grateful for the family's kind act, but when the family reveal their Christian beliefs to him, he grows a little wary and even begins to fear that their beliefs would start to wear down his spiritual faith in Shinto. However, despite all of this, he stays with them to regather his strength. and after a total of 3 days, he is strong enough once more to return home. Now, after this, winter continues, and eventually spring returns to Japan, and life for the family is said to have been going amazingly well. Mineichi returned to school and his studies. His mother tended to her silkworms, and the father began to till the fields for the new year. But the luck of the family, the luck that they were having, did not last, and father fell gravely ill, and no one knew the cause of it. He continued to grow worse. A doctor came, then a pastor, and once more a doctor after that, but none could help him. It was a mystery what ailed him. The illness lingered all through spring, summer, and into some of the autumn, until father found himself well once more. It was almost like a miracle had occurred, everyone shedding tears such was their happiness at his returning health. But the happiness did not remain for long. Father's illness had ensured that the fields had not been cared for this year, and so the family would have no money or food for the coming winter. And what bothered the family even more was that their son would go without any Christmas presents this year. Winter returns, and Christmas Eve rolls round again, and Mineichi goes to bed, expecting nothing to come of the day tomorrow. But before mother and father could retire for the night, a tap tap tapping came at their door. Gohei, the man that they had saved the previous winter, had come to them, not with reindeer as Santa would, but with a troop of 45 young, strong men. All were laden with money, books, and clothing, gifts for all the family for saving his life. Mineichi luckily slept through all the commotion, mother and father helping Gohei and his men with the items, arranging them in their home and around the bed of their son. And so on Christmas morning, Mineichi awoke to presents all around him, the excited little boy running to his mother to wake her up so she could see the gifts. But she was far too tired from the ordeal last night, and so she remained in bed, and father got up to be with the son. And upon the gifts they found a message, which Mineichi asked his dad to read. I offer you these gifts for following God's teachings, and for helping your father save the life of that traveler. Well done, my boy, the note read. The note being signed, the Old Man of the North, Santa Kuro. And there's your short little Christmas tale.
Aw, nice, happy ending with that child waking up to presents and Santa Claus. Very sweet.
It's kind of a sweet ending because when I was first reading out, I was like, winter passed? It's not winter. Where's the Christmas story? But then, the father is ill for basically the whole year until the following Christmas. I was like, oh, okay, it is a Christmas story. That makes
Mm.
sense. The thing I found the most interesting was that they couldn't tend their fields and they would have no money or food for the coming winter. But their son not having Christmas presents bothered them even more than all of that. I was like, I'd be more bothered about not having food than my child not having a gift for Christmas, but it's a Christmas tale.
They probably could forage for something, or I mean, I guess I don't. Yeah, yeah. I
What can
mean,
you forage for in the wild in Japan? Do they have winter yams here, like on Stardew Valley that we used to play?
I know. So long ago. Well, there are winter vegetables. I think there, cabbages too. You can harvest in winter.
True.
So they might have had some winter vegetables, like, so they wouldn't starve, and they might have had enough rice to maybe, like, it if they made rice porridge, they might have or been able to maybe trade something. So they wouldn't have. They probably would have had a very lean winter. But if the child's young enough, they don't understand that, there's not really any food. It's Christmas is such a huge thing for kids, and I'm guessing for them it was a huge thing as well, that disappointing their child, on top of, like, starving, it's just, one more, like, punch in the gut. Like, when we can't even do something for our child who won't even understand. Maybe that's where they were going, kind of for the story's sake.
Yeah, I can see that for
Yeah,
sure.
most people wouldn't worry so much about presents. But I mean, there's so many, I don't know in the UK, but I know in America, there are lots of present drives for, and coat and hat and glove drives for families who can't always afford Christmas. So even in our countries, it's not a huge priority. They need to have food on the table, like electricity, water, place to live. But for little kids, they don't understand that. They just there's no Christmas this year. I mean, I know I'm hungry, but there's no Christmas this year.
It's like, yes, Santa didn't come.
So, but yeah, priorities. There's a little bit of priorities there.
Priorities for the mother and father a bit, but I thought it was interesting. I didn't expect to find a story about it wasn't really about Santa in the end, but the fact that the man respected and understood the family, and so when he gave the gifts, he helped the child believe that it was Santa because they were Christian. He didn't just bring it as a gift to like, you saved my life, thank you.
Although interestingly, I think some some Christians don't like talking about Santa Claus because they think it takes away from the message of Christmas, what they say the true message of Christmas is. So
True.
it's kind of interesting that that's in this story it's tied in together. So they're Christians, so they must believe in Santa Claus. I think that's really interesting.
Comes down to the cultural difference. Like Japan believes Christmas is what they've been told it is.
Hmm.
And so they've been told KFC, strawberry cake, Santa. So, and they know it's also Christian. So to them, all of that together is the Christian holiday in a way.
Well, the when was the story written? I forget.
1900.
Okay, so it's
It's relatively recent for me as an archaeologist.
right. This is true. And we even talked about the origins of rice. So we went way back BC, or even this podcast. It's really young. But it's still surprising to find it in a story that old because I would have assumed most Christmas things wouldn't have come until maybe, like the 1950s. For some reason, I don't know why 1950s, maybe because it was after World War II and then things
Yeah,
came. But to find it before that is really cool.
I'm glad you think so.
I guess we need to find out when Santa Claus first came to Japan. That might be a really good. I mean, I guess it was probably after the was it around the 1850s, 1860s when Japan kind of was more open to other countries and those things kind of started coming in.
Well, interesting enough as well, this book was one of the first Japanese books to feature Santa Claus.
Ah,
So, yeah, it's one of the first, but like you said, there is a possibility of maybe one or two which predate it.
hmm.
But by how much, I'm not sure.
It's gonna be fascinating to find out. I mean, that's because you don't see so much Santa Claus here. I mean, a little bit. You talk about Santa Claus, but mostly Christmas tree and cake and.
The only time I see Santa Claus is when they dress up Colonel Sanders as Father Christmas outside KFC.
And I wonder if most people think that is Santa Claus. It's Colonel Sanders, it's Santa Claus.
We'll make a survey and ask people.
Oh, that's a good question. Describe Santa Claus. Describe Santa. Thank you for the story. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. But yeah, we said we wanted. They're not really some announcements. I think it was a thank you more than an announcement. What we had, no?
Yes, a very big, giant thank you because Thomas, weren't you looking at our stats from where was it this past
Our
year?
2020 Spotify review. And yeah, well, we just want to say thank you to everyone for this is halfway through our second year now. So thank you for another successful year. We've had many gains in listens, but I think the thing that surprised us the most was we've got a lot of new listeners in Sweden.
Thank you so much, Sweden. We love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
So I'm assuming I'm probably gonna say this and lose all our Swedish listeners that
No, we love them.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe English is their second language, but sorry, I'm now talking with cake in my mouth because I got distracted by cinnamon rolls. Sorry, people. So hello to everyone from Sweden, and thank you very much for joining. And we hope you stick around. And again, thank you to everyone else who's found us this year, who's continued to listen to us this year. And we just hope next year can be even bigger and better than before.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Seriously, for you to listen and to come back, it really makes us happy. And thank you for all the kind comments and messages that we get. Just reading those, you don't realize how much you just brighten our day and make us want to do this even more. Like, thank you, we love you too. So, pretty much, I love everyone. Thank you for listening so much.
But I think that's it. Now, until 2021, because apparently 2020 is over now. Suddenly, it was
There's-
March. It was March yesterday.
it does feel like March was yesterday. The whole year has just flown by, and I still am amazed we've made it over halfway through December. And Christmas is this week. My brain cannot. My Christmas cards are not sent yet. They're New Year's cards at this point.
That's fine.
Yeah, thank you. Like, we are looking forward to next year. We are planning. We have been planning and talking about this for a while, but we are going to plan. Actually, after this podcast is over, we're going to plan and talk about next year, and we're looking forward to it. And we really hope to bring you guys a lot of things next year. And we're aiming for more every week as much as we can. We're going to try our best, and we're going to work hard. We're going
to work hard, and we're going to bring a few new things for people.
Yep.
But that will all be announced at the start of next year.
Yeah, this is for this year. This year, just thank you. I will just keep saying thank you a billion times, because there's just, I think we need a lot more of that this year, especially this time of year. Just as much love and thank you that we can get.
Definitely. Until next year then, guys. Thank you again so much. We'll stop saying thank you now.
I know, it's so hard.
So until next year, everyone, please take care of yourselves and everyone else. We need a lot of that right now. So until next year, mata ne.
皆さん気をつけて。またね。